Hello, horror fans. Welcome back to Jay vs. Horror. I'm your host, Jay Wall, and today, guys, we are talking about Wrong Turn 2021, also known as Wrong Turn The Foundation. Let me start off by saying a couple things here, guys. One, I'm going to try really hard not to spoil the film with this review. I'm not going to tell you every little thing about the film. In my reviews, I generally just try to give people a basic understanding of what the film is about and my thoughts on it. I definitely always try not to spoil anything, so we will do our best with that. Now, the second thing I want to say is if you're going into this film expecting a Wrong Turn movie or anything like a Wrong Turn movie that you've seen before, I can tell you that this film is absolutely nothing like anything else in the Wrong Turn franchise. Now, the film is broken up, in my mind, into four basic parts. There's the opening, kind of a middle part, there's a escape part, and then there is the end. Wrong Turn is a 2021 horror film directed by Mike P. Nelson and written by Alan McElroy. The film is a loose reboot and the seventh installment of the Wrong Turn film series. The film stars Charlotte Vega, Aidan Bradley, Emma Dumont, Dylan McTee, Daisy Head, Bill Sage, and Matthew Modine. As the film starts, we see Matthew Modine playing a father searching for his missing daughter and her 5 friends who have gone missing 6 weeks earlier during a hiking expedition in the Appalachian Mountains. He's tracked her to the place where her last text was sent, which is a small town in West Virginia. Basically, what we see here is that he's not getting much help from the inhabitants of this town or the local Keystone cops. Now, from here, we have a flashback. We go back 6 weeks earlier, and we see what happened to his daughter, Jennifer, and her 5 friends. They show up to this small town, and they go out drinking the first night and get a little bit harassed by the locals. 2 of her friends are a gay couple, and her boyfriend is black, and they're in this kind of like hillbilly backwoods town, and it's perceived very early on that they are not welcome there. However, I want to make it very clear that nothing in this film is what it seems. None of the characters, none of that is exactly what you think it's going to be, so you have to kind of stick with it. It seems like they're giving you the basic redneck hillbilly town with all the old horror tropes of the original Wrong Turn or other films like Deliverance and things like that. But they're not really setting you up for that. There's much more to come than what they give you in the beginning. So from here we see that the friends set out on this hiking trail up a mountain, and they're told by the locals not to go up there because the terrain is dangerous, and the warnings that they're given are very ominous about don't go up that mountain, people don't come back, and things like that. It's the same basic old horror stuff, but like I said, nothing in the film is really what it seems to be. They head up this hiking trail, and the first thing that happens is there's a major accident which claims the life of one of the kids. And from here, they get disheveled, they're lost in the woods, they set up camp, and the next morning they wake up to find that another one of their members has gone missing. They think maybe she went off to use the bathroom. They're trying to figure out what's going on. But then paranoia sits in and they start to freak out as they realize they've seen shadows and things around the woods that may be people. So this part of the film does seem very much like a Wrong Turn movie. You're feeling like you're being set up for what's about to happen. And then the movie kind of changes. We see our villains, who are nothing like the villains in any of the previous Wrong Turn movies. This is a different group. I will say this without trying to spoil the film. It's basically a cult of people who have been living on this mountain for over 150 years. And you can tell from the trailer and the poster for the film that these guys are all dressed up in skull mask and big fur coats that go all the way down, and they really look like the bad guys from the M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Village. Without giving too much away here, what happens is a series of misunderstandings between these young adults and these mountain people, which leads to a violent clash between the two different groups. The kids that aren't killed during this violent clash are eventually captured, and they have to deal with the ways and laws of these backwoods people. So, as far as the story goes, guys, that's really all I want to tell you. I don't want to give away too much because I think there's a lot of twists and turns in this movie that you really won't expect. And they're going to have more impact on you if you see them for yourself. You're going to want to see it without being told so you can kind of process it for yourself and see how you feel about it. My thoughts on the film, well, things I liked. I will say this, the production value is good, the acting is strong, and I would say it does have some interesting themes in the movie about what makes someone a bad guy, what makes someone a villain, what makes you a villain, or someone that you've never met before. It's also about judging people without knowing anything about them. So there are some things in here that I think are very, I would say, poignant for what's going on in America today. Not to make it political or anything like that, but there is a lot of that going on in America today where we just see someone's bumper sticker or see what someone supports and we totally judge their entire character off that one thing. And that is portrayed in this film to a certain extent. I found this film to be very interesting. It kept me watching the entire time. It is a little long in the tooth. It's about an hour and 50 minutes, which seems like it could have been slimmed down a little bit in some areas of the film. Like I said, I felt like it was broken up into 4 segments. Basically, there's the opening, then there is this kind of meeting of the minds between these young adults and the cult. Then there is kind of an escape. And then there is the ending. And all 4 of these segments are very different from each other, in my opinion. It also has some great gore scenes in it that I really didn't expect. I mean, you see things happen and you think, well, they're not going to show that again. They won't go back to that. And then they do. They go back to it and show you, like, the impact of what just happened, which I really enjoyed. I thought they had a couple really great scenes in here. If you like head trauma, you'll like this movie. Things that I did not enjoy about the film, I would have to say mainly the story gets a little goofy towards the back end. It's strong at the beginning, it's fairly strong through the middle, but as the film goes on, the characters make some choices that don't really make sense. Also, one of the characters kind of takes on this like Katniss Everdeen personality from the Hunger Games. It seems a little odd, and I wasn't super impressed by the end. I thought it was okay. They started to end it one way, it went to black, and then it came back and showed more, so stick with it. Don't cut out on the film right when it goes to the credits, because there is more right after that, and it's kind of like an extended ending scene, which you really need, because otherwise the film really seems incomplete. When I saw that, when it first went to black, and it came up on the screen, wrong turn, I thought that was a terrible ending. And then a couple seconds later, it flips back over and shows you the rest of the ending. And I was much happier with that, even though I wasn't totally satisfied with it. There could have been more explanation about what happened, what the consequences were for what happened. I mean, to be honest, there are some serious logic issues with this story. I mean, I find it hard to believe that in this day and age, this many people can go missing in the same exact place. You know, especially these 6 kids at the same exact time. And it's just, that's what it is, right? Only one of our characters has somebody that even comes looking for him. And that just seems ridiculous to me. I think in this day and age, if that happens, you're going to have the FBI all up and down that mountain. It's going to be on CNN every night until they're found. They're going to be dropping dynamite down every hole and burning that mountain down until they find those kids. However, we do have to go back to the fact that it is a horror film and it is just a make-believe story. So we don't have to have every single thing checked off the list of logic, right? All in all, guys, I am going to give Wrong Turn 2021 7 out of 10. I thought about this one a little bit. I thought, maybe 6.5, and I thought it's a little bit better than that. I know a lot of you guys are just going to hate it. Let's be honest. A lot of you are simply going to hate this film. It doesn't have any of the villains from the past Wrong Turn movies, and it doesn't have that feel to it at all. It's a completely different story, and I think what's going to be said about this film a lot is that it should have just been titled The Foundation. It should not have been titled Wrong Turn or anything like that. The script was good enough on its own. If you made a few changes here and there, maybe move it from West Virginia to Missouri or something like that, so it's not in the same setting as the original Wrong Turn. Just make a few adjustments and you title the film The Foundation and leave the Wrong Turn crap off of it. Let's be honest, that's only on there to sell the film. It's definitely not a bad film and it has a lot of interesting ideas in it, but this is not a film that's going to be iconic. I can say that pretty much for a fact. It's not a film that 20 years from now we're all going to be looking back on and talking about like we do the original Wrong Turn film. There's been so much controversy about this film. Is it a reboot? Is it a remake? Is it a sequel? I don't think it's any of those things. To be honest, like I said, the film should have just been titled The Foundation and been its own separate thing. It would have been a lot better for this film because it's going to take a tremendous amount of hate just for having that Wrong Turn label on it, which kind of sucks because the film's not that bad at all. Like I said, 7 out of 10. Pretty solid film. Guys, that's all we got for this time, and we will talk to you the next time we've got something we're talking about. Bye.